The Winnipeg Jets continue their winning ways. That's 3 in a row now for Winnipeg. And we said it when they beat the Blues. We said it after Paul Maurice got let go and Dave Lowry got his first win, that the Winnipeg Jets season is turning around. Do you believe me yet? Welcome to the Worst Sports Channel on YouTube, Hot Garbage Sports, with me, Coach Ryan D. We're back. The Winnipeg Jets have beaten the Arizona Coyotes, they've beaten the St. Louis Blues, and they've beaten the Vegas Golden Knights. But their win tonight against the Arizona Coyotes may be the most important win they've had all season, and that's for a couple reasons. Number one, Winnipeg is notorious for losing to basement teams like this, including the Coyotes. The last time we met the Coyotes, the Jets put up north of 40 shots, actually put up 50, and they lost. And this has happened for 3 years to the Winnipeg Jets, losing to basement teams, giving up those points. And why? Well, hold on. Let's talk about number two as to why this is important, because they tie together. Number two is the Jets have been goalied many times this year. We've heard that term. The analysts have used it. The pundits have used it. They get goalied. They get goalied. Hot goalie. Well, they get goalied again tonight, but they win. And why is number one and number two tie together? Because the Jets did the little things right for the first time in a long time. Their progression from the Blues to the Knights to the Coyotes is evident. They are clearly doing the little things in hockey, and there's two things in hockey. There's strategic positioning. That's what the coach controls. That's your systems and your play. And there's individual tactics that players are supposed to do when they're one-on-one defending or with the puck, and the Jets are doing it. They're doing it at all ends of the ice. They have found balance, and they are back to playing hockey. They are no longer playing what I have dubbed pond hockey. They're playing for each other, and they are playing as a unit. And that is why that means no matter whether you get goalied, no matter whether you're playing a top team, and no matter whether you're playing a bottom team like the Coyotes, when you dedicate yourself to the individual tactics that you as an NHL player are supposed to do, and you as an NHL player are supposed to do as part of the team and as part of a unit and as part of your skill set that you bring to said team, you usually end up winning when you're the better team. At no point in time did it feel like the Jets were in trouble, even though it was a 2-1 game, because they did almost everything right. And I'm only going to say almost because, frankly, nobody's ever perfect, but that's pretty close to as perfect of a game as you're going to get. And the changes to the Jets game showed, specifically on their penalty kill. If we take a look at the kill here, they're just much more aggressive. Look at how much more aggressive they are at getting after pucks. They're not waiting. Big hit by Dave Lowry, big pickup by Logan Stanley. Puck is out of the zone. They are pressuring pucks on the penalty kill. When they see backs, when they see turnovers, they're sending players, and they're sending multiple players, 2 and 3 players after pucks on the penalty kill. We haven't seen that for quite some time from the Winnipeg Jets, and that's the way you do it. Now, Logan Stanley on that last play, you saw he made a bit of a bonehead play. He got a puck on his stick. He ended up giving it back to the defenseman. There's also the matter of the only goal Arizona scored, which came on a Logan Stanley give up as well too. But I'm going to make an entire video on Logan Stanley, folks. I'm going to tell you right now, the short version, if you don't want to watch it all, is Logan Stanley is a developing defenseman that needs time in the NHL and will continue to need time. And I will compare him to Zdeno Chara. And guess what? It took Chara 5 years in the NHL before he became the productive monster that he was. And we are on year 2 of Logan Stanley. You need valuable NHL minutes to contribute. And Logan Stanley has something that nobody else in the NHL really has, and something you can't teach, and that's called size. That reach, an extra 6 inches that Stanley has over most players, is invaluable and makes up for a lot. Dave Lowry's done something interesting. He's changed up the defensive pairings, and I dig it. He's put Nate Schmidt with Logan Stanley because Schmidt is a guy that will calm Stanley down. He'll talk and talk and talk and talk Stanley through the process and procedure, and probably Stanley will have a little fun with it because Schmidt's a funny guy. So that's a nice pairing. I don't think that's a pairing that Lowry's going to go into the playoffs with if we do end up making a playoff spot. I don't think that's a forever pairing. I think that is a commitment to your young player to give him a wily veteran like Nate Schmidt to help develop his game faster. That is incredibly intelligent by Dave Lowry. I like the line of Stastny, Ehlers, and Scheifele, and I still see a lot of people getting on Scheifele. People clue in, tune it up. Like, Scheifele is not the best in the D zone. That's fine. Scheifele is a $6.5 million defenseman. Can and should he play like a $10 million defenseman? Absolutely. Does he have the ability to be better? For sure. But get off this, like, I don't like 55. I don't want 55. We're better without 55. You cannot find a better player in the middle for $6.5 million. Take that to the bank. He is returning the investment that is being paid tenfold. He is offensively gifted. Yep. He has brain farts. Yep. He can be better. But I'm sorry, he's not going anywhere, and he's a real heart and soul guy for the Jets. You don't like it? Tune out. The second line is technically, in my opinion, our first line, which is Connor and Dubois. Dubois is the best player on the Jets right now, not named Connor Hellebuyck. Pierre-Luc Dubois is playing absolutely fantastic right now. I see a lot of people talking about how skilled Dubois is. I really need to correct people on this. Dubois is brilliant. Dubois is big. He's tough. He's a beautiful skater. His skating skill is excellent. He's physical, but his hands are like cement bricks, and that's okay. He actually knows it. He does things like protect the puck with his body. He drives the net with force, and he finds ways to score, and that's how he ends up scoring on the power play. He just shovels it in as a sheer force of will down low. And what I love about Dubois on the power play is that Dubois immediately, when a shot comes from the point, he's right at that net. There is no hesitation or fear from Dubois. The other thing that you gotta love about Pierre-Luc Dubois is the fact that he's so intelligent that he can take an even up penalty. So when there was a little bit of a run and a scrum there at the end, Dubois took some liberties. He does that from time to time. It's part of his role. He lays some huge hits, a big cross check, and he's going to the box. He's getting a penalty and he knows it. So what does he do? He agitates the next player to get an even up call, takes them, so it doesn't end up hurting the team. That's how intelligent this guy is. He is very in control of his emotions, but he's also so damn big and strong that there are very few people in the league that can really mess with this guy. He can beat you on the score sheet. He can beat you physically. He can beat you with hits, and he can toss you like a rag doll, especially if your name's Austin Matthews, who is also a big guy. Pierre-Luc Dubois is one of the best players on the Jets right now. He's one of the best players in the NHL. He is highly, highly intelligent. His hands, they're stone, but he makes it work. His shot, it's actually average for the NHL. And I know a lot of you guys are going to say that and go, we love Luc Dubois. Don't ever say anything bad about him. Wouldn't trade Luc Dubois for the world. If you want to know what Luc Dubois is worth, I have a video above breaking down why I believe he's worth between $8 and $8.5 million. Doesn't matter what you think he should be paid. Doesn't matter what you think the market should be. The market is set. He is getting between $8 and $8.5 million. And if he continues this path, it's going to be closer to that 0.5 mark at the 8. And if Chevy gets him for the high 7s, then it's an absolute steal of a deal. The guy's a monster. He is going to get paid for the Winnipeg Jets. He's going to sign a long-term deal. This guy's amazing, but he has holes in his game like everybody else. Now, Jansen Harkins on this line. It's an interesting call. Harkins has spent the last 5 or 6 years with the Jets organization, between the Moose and the Jets, really developing his individual contribution and the little things that we talked about before. He does the things he can control well. He's not the most skilled guy on the ice. He's never really going to be the most skilled guy on the ice, but he is reminding me a lot of a younger discount, to be honest, Andrew Kopp. He's a guy that is just invaluable. He's going to be cheap for the Jets for the next 3 to 4 years in terms of contract. He's starting to work his way up the depth chart, and he's going to be a plug and play player for the Jets all over the lineup. Do I think he should be playing on the second line? No. Would I change it? No, not right now. You're winning. Why would you change that? But I do think he's going to slip back down. I think he actually belongs with Lowry and Kopp. Lowry, Kopp, and Harkins, that's the line. That's the checking line, in my opinion. Christian Reichel was fine. There's nothing wrong with Reichel. I love that Lowry isn't afraid to call guys up like this. I think Pierre-Luc Dubois and Kyle Connor, as reliable as a guy like Harkins is, and as fun as it is to yell Mr. Svechnikov for Svechnikov, I think they're missing something on that line talent-wise, and it's not Ehlers or Scheifele. You keep the four separate. Ehlers and Scheifele stay together. Connor and Dubois stay together. This is like the Leafs. It's like Matthews, Marner, Tavares, and Nylander. You keep them apart. You don't superline it. It's Cole Perfetti. I see people saying it all the time. We don't want to burn his entry-level contract. We don't want the... Cole Perfetti is so damn talented, and you saw it at the World Juniors. He absolutely is a guy that could be carried by Luc Dubois and Connor and contribute offensively in ways that are just, it's impossible to measure. And there's certain little things that a guy like Harkins or Svechnikov just can't do that Perfetti can do. So it's interesting. And to get back to Harkins and why I think you need a bit of upgrade of skill on the second line, which should be the first line, which is Connor and Dubois. But whatever, it's just the order. It's 1A, 1B, is because Harkins is always thinking so defensively minded that sometimes that actually ends up causing defensive problems. Let me show you what I mean on the Logan Stanley turnover. So the Shane Gosper goal is a really interesting goal. You can see Nate Schmidt going for a skate back, and right away, just take a look at 64 there in the middle. This is a nice shoulder check. So like, I'm telling you, this guy isn't stupid. He's doing the little things correct. He makes a beautiful shoulder check right here to see how much time and space he has. Schmidt's going to pick it up. Stanley's going to go into the corner for a nice little regroup here. But watch the forwards. Look where Jansen Harkins goes. He's right at the bottom of your screen here with Andrew Ladd. So Harkins cuts across the middle. He's high. He's a winger. There's no problem. Look down below where Pierre-Luc Dubois is next to Connor Hellebuyck. This is basically a breakout as you would draw it in 13 and under. This is a very simple breakout that never leaves hockey. The centerman is going to curl up the middle of the ice as the supporting forward. Kyle Connor actually needs to be lower here. Connor is thinking too offensively here. He's too high in his own zone right now, and Harkins is too low. So we give Connor a lot of breaks because we love Kyle Connor. His jersey's in the background. I do. But Connor's got to shore up a few things. He actually needs to come down a little bit lower here to help Stanley, because what you can see with Logan Stanley is he doesn't have an out right now. He can't go back to his partner Nate Schmidt. He's tied up. He can't go to Kyle Connor because Kyle Connor is too high, and he can't hit Jansen Harkins because he's got to pass it through two guys right now. So Stanley's actually in some trouble, and his only option is to eat it in the corner or go high off the glass. Let's see what he ends up doing. He makes a breakout pass there that's picked off by Shane Gosper, Ghost Bear, as he's better known, and he ends up scoring. And then you can see right here where I paused it, Harkins is doing the reach in. And anytime there's the reach in, there's the problem. This is an easy frame to see you screwed up. This is your fault. When you're reaching, you're out of position. And this doesn't just end up happening because Stanley throws it in the middle. This actually isn't Stanley's fault at all. This is Harkins' fault, and this is Connor's fault. He's held the puck quite well, and he's forced the Arizona Coyote forward to take a really bad turn. The Coyote forward should have stopped. He should have pressured. Ladd should have come down low to support him. He doesn't do it. We're not here to talk about the Coyotes. Stanley gets free here. You can see it. His stick right here is actually quite open, and he's created a lane. Luc Dubois has done that perfect J-hook. This is what I call, like I said, the 13 and under breakout you teach every young hockey player. This is a nice low sweep by the centerman. It's perfect. And Stanley's going to go ahead and make a little pass here to Luc Dubois. The trouble is the puck's right here, and it's a hard pass. It's a hard fluttery pass. Stanley's got a lot of weight on it, and the puck actually bounces off Luc Dubois' backhand. It's obviously the harder hand to receive a pass in, and the puck ends up continuing through to Shane Gosper, who ends up scoring. But this little guy right here, Jansen Harkins, he's too low. And because he's this low, Shane Gosper, who is off your screen, we can't go find him, actually gets to pinch and hold the blue line and make a read. What you need Jansen Harkins to do is slash. He actually needs to slash in this direction up the middle of the ice towards the opposite dot. Yes, closer to Kyle Connor, and overload that side. And he should be somewhere near the red line by now. So he's thinking defensively. He's pivoted open. His back's to Gosper. This isn't the right play to make for Harkins. This is a defensive-minded guy not thinking offensively. He actually needs to push up the ice, because if he pushes up the ice, he pushes Shane Gosper back. If Gosper ends up pushed back, this bouncing puck from Pierre-Luc Dubois causes absolutely no problem. So it's an unfortunate bounce. It's a comedy of events, but this isn't Logan Stanley's fault. He's made the right play. Luc Dubois made the right play. Kyle Connor's too high. Jansen Harkins has to slash, and he needs to be out near the red line at this point. Now, for those of you who watched the channel for some time, you might be saying, hey, Coach Ryan D, you said don't leave the zone until you're sure he has the puck. Well, here's the frame. He has the puck. We've got it. No problem. Harkins, as soon as we have control of that puck, you're gone. You need to push the defenseman back. If Logan Stanley fumbles here, Harkins is in a good position to push back. But we have, 0.5, 0.6 seconds from this point before Stanley makes the pass to Luc Dubois down below. That's more than enough time to get to center ice with the speed in the NHL. Harkins has got to push that. So this is the point I've made on this channel since day one. Skill needs to play with skill. Jansen Harkins is a good fill-in player. He's a good replacement level player. He's a great NHL player. For the money you're paying for him, he'll be an integral part of the Jets going forward for the next 3 to 5 years until, he pulls an Andrew Kopp, becomes really good, and you got to pay him way too much. And you go, nah, sorry, we're probably going to move on. But I digress on that point. He doesn't match Connor and Dubois. They're just that good. Cole Perfetti does. His skill matches. And for the few defensive lapses that Cole Perfetti, who weighs 160 pounds soaking wet with rocks in his pocket, may make, it is an invaluable NHL experience that he would gain playing in that top 6. It's just like Seth Jarvis. Seth Jarvis for Carolina, another Winnipeg-born guy who's taken 3 picks after Perfetti. They're the same size. They're the same skill level, different positions. Jarvis has played in the NHL now since the beginning of the season with one of, if not the best team in the NHL in the Carolina Hurricanes in a top 6 role. Cole Perfetti can't crack the lineup. That says something. Now, Dave Lowry is not going to make a big splash like that as an interim head coach right away. He's going to see what he has, but don't be surprised if you start seeing this guy come into the lineup. And if you have any worries about Perfetti and the 10 game, like, ZLC contracts, I'm sorry, NHL experience trumps that. The investment you get from getting your player to play right now in the middle of January, February, and March is just an unbelievable investment for the playoffs. Maybe Perfetti doesn't stay on that line for the playoffs because it's just too big of a role, and that's okay, but there is an invaluable 10 to 15 game spread here where Perfetti could be playing in a top 6 role with the Jets and getting that experience required. You just don't get it in the AHL. It's not the same. It's not the same speed. It's not the same league. So, Dave Lowry, doing fantastic. Coach Ryan D told you the Jets season was turning around. He's right. Coach Ryan D is telling you that Nate Schmidt paired with Logan Stanley is a great investment in young talent. Awesome move by Lowry, not just stacking his top 2 pairings and getting an investment in his young guy. Connor Hellebuyck is still the best player on the Jets. Pierre-Luc Dubois is the best forward on the Jets. Pierre-Luc Dubois is going to get paid $8 to $8.5 million. Take it all to the bank, baby, and pay me because I'm probably going to be right with most of those. That's just the way it goes. It's not because I can see the future. I've just been around hockey for way too long. And there's way too many trends, patterns, and things that clearly work in this game when you've grown up around it at such a high level. Team, the Jets look great. This was such a huge win for them. The win against Vegas was a huge win. The win against St. Louis was a huge win. Every win these guys tally up is huge because they are back. They're behind. So they need to go ahead and put together a 5 or 6 game streak here. We're doing it. We're not going to get goalied again. It's not going to happen. There's going to be goalies that stand on their head, but we're going to win those games. Go Jets, go.